Tunney, let's get into it. Can Red Reserve have another miracle run, or will Enigma6 finally take down one of the big dogs? They've been awfully close several times throughout the course this weekend. Is this finally where they hit their mark?
Well, I think Red Reserve are going to be getting a little bit bored of playing in this losers bracket, and you know, I mean, how many times can they do it? That's the question. Let's see if they can have another fantastic championship Sunday here in Birmingham. Not a bad start for them. They did get initial control of ventilation, but General gets 3 in a row from that, and Enigma6 do have control. Yeah,
I've seen General. He's had a couple beast performances just individually, you know, from the stats perspective. He has gone off in several matches against top competition like FaZe. You know, he drops a 48 bomb on them. He has potential to explode at any time, and he is teeing people up right now with his STG. Starting out 4-0, he was able to juggle the hard point a bit, so he's actually only 25 points off streaks really early in this one. And it was a nice opening hold there from E6. As Cinder gets back in, if he can win a couple of gunfights, we'll end up falling. So it'll be close to a tie game here through it, but really nice start from General. It could be early streaks that'll be big.
Yeah, he's going to get them because of the rotation. They have it locked down. He will get the points for the capture. They'll get the 100, and those streaks will be available. Of course, we do know that Valkyrie, the streaks aren't necessarily as influential as they could be on other maps. Says Dennis, he does go down.
We actually had to win a gunfight at least, though. I thought he was just going to get the time, but they contested it, and it did come down to a 1v1 at least. But I guess you probably feel right if you're Red Reserve, considering how close the game is, considering Rated only has 1 kill. Josh only has 1 kill. You got them combined for 2 and 10, and you're still right in this at least.
Joe's playing pretty well, though. 7 and 4 out of him. We've seen him have an absolutely astounding championship Sunday in Atlanta. If he can continue that form, Red Reserve will be right in amongst it. But with Joe in there, streak's been called in already by General. I mean, typically you do see them say for smoke stacks, but they want to try and get a hold of as many points as possible. Quick on Diabolic and Sender do get 2 kills with the SMGs. They should be able to clean Rated up here as well. And one of the players that has impressed me from Enigma6 is Abizi. We've seen him put up big numbers on every single occasion. And the thing is, for me, I think if General plays well, E6 look good, because there's been a couple of occasions where he's had a poor map and they've really just fallen off. But if he plays well, the rest of the team, we know they can put up the numbers as well. They are competitive.
I mean, up until kind of the beginning of this game, I mean, if you think about the years prior, he has been kind of that hard carrier role. When you talk about slang, he has got to be an absolute monster. We'll see what he can continue to do throughout this one. You know, you mentioned the streak use. You don't usually see it there, but to be fair, it gets the opening pick and they do get in. I believe they got the final 20 seconds, so that ultimately could be a 40-point swing in the way of things behind that fighter pilot. You always like to have that for smokestacks, but we'll be invested early. We'll see what Diabolic can do now as he's going to hop right back into bunker. Going to be pinched here from both sides, kind of front and left. Well, all 3 sides. It's going to be a 4-on-1. He's got nothing he can do. The swarm comes in and Red cracks in.
Yeah, good break by Red Reserve. They just took their time, and that's what they need to do. This is one of those maps where you really can lock down every single point if you can get clean breaks. But they take their time, get the picks where they need to, and just collapse on in the hard point. We're moving around to office now. Enigma6 on the early rotation. This is the money hill.
Yeah. This, you know, usually storage bunker to office is where you can really open things up if you can chain both together. So if you're E6, you've got to hold right now. Red Reserve is able to take the lead in the last hard point. You can't allow them to crack through quickly here. Josh will be the entry man, wins the first gunfight. Another one in the back. General able to win that with the STG, and Cinder finds one out in the mid-street. So Enigma6 holding. They've been able to take the lead now, but just like that, Red back in the hard point. There's a 1-on-1 here with Diabolic. He's going to get some help, I think, from Josh on the backside, so they should be able to hold this.
Yeah, I really like that from Red Reserve. They wait on Rated at 0 coming from behind. They're going to try and have to hold again. They're not going to be able to do it this time around. E6 pretty much clear them. It's only 0 that's able to do anything, but I liked what Red Reserve did to try and get a hold of that. 0 gets 3. Can't get the 4th in Sender, who holds it down, but they push on behind, they take the time, and they just distract attention towards the back. They can push in through the front with they succeeded in that, but Enigma6 battles straight back and will continue to hold down office. And it's been backwards and forwards. Enigma6, as we go over towards smokestacks, will have about a 20-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tight because no one's been able to really get a full hold. It's been back and forth. Everyone's been able to kind of break in with relative ease and trade back and forth for the most part. Whoever starts to get, you know, that first kind of 40, 50-point hold might be where we see some big separation. Let's see if Red can maybe do it here on smokestacks. General does still have a glide bomb, I believe. So yep, here it comes. He's going to call it in. And let's see if he can connect. Spots Rated. He's going to drop. A couple more kills come in. There's still 2 players there. It's going to be Josh and 0 that have to deal with the onslaught. Josh up to the task. Josh finds a 2nd kill behind that as well. And that's massive because that was basically a 2v3 here for the hard point. And they're able to hold. Josh finds 3. Finally going to fall, but the reinforcements are in, and they're set up at stacks.
I love that from Josh.
Oh, not any longer.
Starting to pick up a lot of kills. And again, it's backwards and forwards. Even when Josh goes off like that, they can't lock it down for very long at all. And neither of these 2 teams doing a great job at getting a setup and holding it. They just need to win their gunfights when they have a hold of the fight. But General, once again, on a bit of a streak here, 4 kills in a row for him. if you can get things going again. I mean, we've seen the streaks used somewhat effectively. There's been a couple of occasions, but then just teams bouncing back. You know, Red Reserve, every single time they've had an answer to the question, they are still behind up. And as we go back to ventilation, it's about a 20-point game.
Well, we'll see if General can pick up any more streaks. Now, he actually just ended up dropping. So he's at 14-9, dropped on the 4 streaks, so not able to tack anything extra onto that. Josh, once again, trying to be the hero inside, but it's Diabolic that's able to pick up a couple of kills and set up again in ventilation room for Enigma6. And this is a hard point. You know, early when this map came out, you know, Joe would talk about the fact that just about every hard point here, not a money hill exactly, but you can get a ton of time, and no one's been able to string anything together yet. No defense has been up to the task of just locking it down. Is this where Enigma6 can get it rolling? No. Joe and Rada bust on in. They're set up in ventilation now, and now E6 has to try and fly on through.
Every single time you think somebody's set up, it's just getting broken every single time. And I don't know if I want to lean towards both these teams just pinching correctly and doing the right thing, or just not able to hold it. Communication's not there to say, make sure you're watching this way, make sure I'm watching that way. It seems to not be working out for either team, and that's why we've got a fairly close game. Joe,
well, it's just so different than like we had what was it? It was Rise Envy last night, I believe, on this map, and it was a lot different in the standpoint. It was very, very close game. It was like 250 to 220. It was tons of lead changes, very, very close. But it'd be like, you know, somebody gets like a 40-point hold here. The next one's a 40-point hold. The next team. It was a whole lot less scrappy in a lot of ways. But eventually, you think someone's going to start to pull away, and it might be Enigma6 because they're now up 20 here, Tony. Yeah,
let's see if they can hold this down. We can see they've got a pretty good setup here. Sender is important towards the back. He's going to be able to take down Zero. Surely he loses the gunfight, so now Zero can try and collapse in. The rest of his team not going to be able to do anything, though. General does pick up 2 in the mid-map. He's on an 8 streak right now. Zero trying to do something about it. They need to take General down, but he will already have those streaks 9 in a row from him.
Well, Red Reserve currently down 40, nearly 50 points. They've got to get the comms going. They've got to pick it up there to come back in this game 1. I want to toss it to an Astro Listen in here with Red Reserve.
Push up for the road. The spawn there, the spawn out. One door there, bunker by the way, it could be bunker. It could be bunker. Back tray. It could be bunker. Bam, 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 bam.
That's strong.
Kill him if you like. Bunker, one shot.
I got time.
Back tray, coming to you.
They can come you P1 to small, Josh.
There's 2 on me, Joe. 2.
All back to space.
They're going to be pit now. These spawners.
Watch your tray, take.
There's 2, 1 shot, both absolute.
That's it, one more, 2, back door.
Let's put it as well.
What's going down, I'll get him a trade. One more back door, one absolute. There's one back, there's still one back. Wait, absolute. Let's go. I'm pointing him.
Oh, 1 bullet, that's my streak.
Push out, one. You got mid? I'm playing P1,
2 mid, I got 1.
P1 absolute.
P1 dead.
One more there. Right, challenge you, I'm helping you.
Must we hold the rotation?
Yeah,
I'm going to know. Oh, 7, school. 2. One more.
Weak.
One more now. Spawned out.
Kill try.
They're spawning out. Get time, Josh. Go for bed.
They're all at the back on you, Trey. All back, Trey.
1 shot, General. I think there's 2. General's in new. 1 shot.
Spawning there. I'm hiding mid.
Winner, Josh, winner, 1 weak. Weak, sender, weak.
Oh, I got him, but I'm dead. Pilot.
Back room weak.
I got school.
It does have easy. General's got streaks as well.
Back room weak.
In the left corner. Should be dead. Dead.
Team kill.
I spawned, split 2.
2 in there. 1 left. Tangent.
Need push.
Wait, Wiki try. Dead.
Nice.
Back eye, Wick as well.
Sender, absolute. 2 there, 2 on the heady, Diabolic and Sender.
I'm behind him.
Exposed, dead.
Nice. I can't see the other guy. Far back.
He shot me.
Put to the back. One absolute, one isn't.
Even weaker. 2. There's 2 weak then. 2 weak.
Got 2.
Need this
Left.
One more. Close right.
Alright, it's small. Close right on me. He's still close right.
I bet I got streaks.
That's big scrap.
That's streaks, so much we get inside.
Okay, all weak. Back.
They're trying to bring it back now, but over the 225 mark is Enigma6. They've got streaks on General yet again. He's 27-16. Abizi, 31-26. The slaying advantage absolutely going the way of E6. And now the fighter pilot in, trying to tag up what it can, able to pick up 1. But look at the hold right now. It's going to be smokestacks. Setup is red. They've got to make the play, but there's still artillery available on General, so this is going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, and they need a good hold as well. Enigma6 only 14 away. And you know, ever since we got to this 3rd rotation, they really have just been frying. General went on, a 10 streak? He's on a 5 streak now. Abizi has streaks as well. They really just started to heat up into this game. E6 looking solid, but not yet to pick up a kill. Oh, sorry, a point on Smokestack so far. They do eventually get in there. The artillery's in a good position as well. This could be the game.
Yeah, it may be. They invest a lot here. They want to close it out, but Zero with a nice gunfight win on the backside. Unfortunately for him, General there to trade it out, and the bayonet is in. You got to get into contest. Enigma6 only need 5 points here to close out game 1. Red, they clear him out of the hard point with a grenade. They're racing in. Just one more tick. They're able to contest and at least live for another second. But another glide bomb going to come in. Can Enigma6 get in for one more moment? Not able to do it here. We're at least going to see one more hard point.
Well, let's see. Can they hold it down? This would take a monumental comeback from Red Reserve. The streaks are there for Enigma6 as well. Rated inside the hard point, no ventilation. They need perfect holds for the rest of the game. Joe does take down Diabolic, but here come Enigma6. They're looking for the pinch. They're just taking their time. The streaks from Red Reserve. Is it going to be enough, though? It's going to be down to Josh, who's left all alone against the Bees. He needs to win this gunfight and does. Takes 3. Where's everybody else from his team, though? They're nowhere to get in.
Gotta get in. Not able to do it. Josh tries to be the hero with 3, but fall a little bit short. And I'll tell you what, we talked about at the beginning of the game. I mentioned that General has been going off, man. And he had what? He was like 34 and 17. He had 2 minutes in the hard point. And I mean, what that tells me, if he's using STG on that map, is 1, E6 was getting a lot better early setups, because if he's getting kills with an AR like that, you got to think he's getting early line of sights to dominate. And then on a map where streaks aren't always the difference, they absolutely were in several hard points there. You know, there was that 40-point swing early in the game. It helped them get in on smokestacks towards the end there as well. And we saw it last night with Rise and Envy as well. You know, you get a couple streaks on Gunless, and that's ultimately what ices that game. So even though maybe it's not the most streak-heavy map, yeah, they're streaks, man. They make a difference.
Yeah, they still make a difference. And I feel as the map matures into the meta, people are starting to get a little bit more used to where they can use them. They maybe used a little bit more for cuts when you go, because outside of the hard points, everything is outside, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's where you can use them to
on
help
rotation when people are trying to hit those mid lanes and cut across. But what a big win there to kick things off from Enigma6. And that's why, you know, when we were talking on the analysis desk, we didn't think this was going to be an easy stomp for Red. You know,
not at all.
They have had, to be fair, their losers bracket runs have been unreal. You know, you think back to what New Orleans, when they went through, I think it was like FaZe Optic United with a 9-1 map count. And then you look back to Atlanta, where I can't even list all what 5 or 6 teams they went through, but they were stomping. It's like all 3-0, 3-1, 3-0. They were cruising through. This is scary early to drop to an Enigma6 team that has showed absolutely this weekend that they may have what it takes to take out the top teams.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you speak to the pros, the first game of Sunday is the most important game of your weekend, up to this point, of course. And if you can get off with a win, that's where things get rolling. But the problem is here, are they going to be able to get this win? Enigma6 look up for the challenge, and Red Reserve, to me, when you look at them on the screen there, they look a bit disjointed.
Yeah, it's going to be tough because, you know, they don't have... This is not saying they're not a talented team, not that whatsoever, but they don't have maybe the slaying power of some other top teams. They rely on the consistency of someone like Rated. And if he has an off series and General is going off, and we know how good General's been, we know Abizi has been crushing. I talked to the FaZe guys, and they said his shot was incredible. If he didn't make some poor decisions, they think he can absolutely be a top player with just the way he was shredding them. And that's coming from someone like Zumo, who's been cooking all weekend. So if they are going to get outslayed like that, and the guys are going to go off on E6, like, who's gonna? Someone's got to be up to the task on Red.
We haven't really seen that from them so far this weekend. You know, we haven't seen any good, solid performances out of them. Of course, dropping down in their pools. I mean, when they went up against Splice, I think everyone sort of expected that to go in their favor. But Splice turned up here this weekend and finished top of that group. And Red Reserve just couldn't keep up with them in Luminosity. And it's hard to find themselves in this situation. And I think if they get past this game, we could potentially see a decent losers bracket run from them again. But I think this might be one of the toughest tasks to get over. It's that mental block at the beginning of the day. It's getting your shot warm. It's getting frying with that game. And so far, they're 1-0 down in this series, and they're not making it easy on themselves.
Yeah, you got to think about the other side of it. You know, if this team mixed with a young player and Abizi in general, you have 2 veterans kind of in Diabolic and Cinder, if they can get an early win, are they a team capable of going on a run? I mean, this is a team where, you know, at least 3/4 of it we've seen in a pro league over the course of various years. They've been in and out of, you know, not necessarily top teams, but pro league teams for sure. Yeah. I really truly think they have the skill to take out a team like Red Reserve, but mostly what it comes down to is, like, are they going to make those mistakes? Are they going to be like are they going to be like an Envy that's a heavy slaying team, but, you know, fall apart in big moments like we've saw them do in a couple of game 5s? Or are they going to come in here, just slap Red and take them out quickly?
I mean, on this map yesterday, as we do load into St. Marie on Search and Destroy, they were 5-1 up against Unilad, and they end up losing that 1-6-5. So, I mean, you know, we know the collapse could potentially come in. But hopefully, if they can hold this down, I mean, the thing is, we've seen some good S&D gameplay from them, and it just seems to crumble towards the end. That's the unfortunate thing. So we know that they've got it in their locker to do well. As Diabolic does pick Joe first. Which
is interesting, because if it was like the team that they had at the beginning of the year, which had I know it had a lot of S&D players, but it had a lot of young players, like I could get that. But
yeah,
you think there's a lot of you know, veteran and some leadership on this squad. You wouldn't think that'd be an issue, but let's see what E6 can do now. 4-3 advantage, but bomb has now been planted. Rated just holding the window here at the mid alley. He's going to be crucial to calling out anything on this cross. He's able to see one, just waiting for the perfect shots. Nice job. Rated able to pick up the first. Zero finds the second. Suddenly, it's going to be General by himself. He's going to have to clutch up. He is able to pick up one on the backside. 1v2, 16 seconds left. Shouldn't be enough time for him to make a play. Maybe he can at least find another kill. But that's gonna do it for that round.
Yeah, not going to get the round.
That's big. That's a 3v4 that Red Reserve's able to take. Granted, you know, from either site, 3v4, if you get the bomb down, it's a very winnable situation, but solid stuff there, and Rated open things up by getting that kill on the mid street.
Yeah, I mean, that was the crucial one, wasn't it? I think if he's watching that and makes that shot, we see them take their time, then Zero gets that second one very quickly, and suddenly it's an easy round for him.
I think two players push through the bottom of his building to get to the back, or sorry, push through kind of front of that building. If one of them checks that, goes in and picks him up, very different story, but instead he's able to get the kill. But now let's see what E6 can try and do to answer here on offense, Tom.
Well, opting for a B play, and we can see Red Reserve have read it wrong this time around. They have allowed that B site to be available. We can see the flank is potentially coming in as well, though. So E6 do get inside.
They're coming quick. They're coming quick.
They're coming real fast.
Is Cinder going to be ready for this? They're going to be here very fast, and he's not. Cinder's going to drop, and immediately things have become very frantic on the B site here for Enigma6. You got Rated ready to collapse on one side. It's going to be a 2-2 hit that's going to start to come in. They haven't got bomb planted. Now it's going to be down. You can hold 3v4 from this situation. We just saw Red Reserve do it from the opposite side.
They have to coordinate together. Let's see, Rated pushes on through, gets through uncontested. The smoke works out well. Rated gets two, Abizi gets two as well. He's left all alone. Red Reserve clean up 2-0.
Wow, I thought for a second that Abizi might have got away through that smoke and might be able to somehow get back in and make a play, but he will get dropped. So phenomenal stuff there. You know, you saw Red Reserve hold a 3v4 post plant on the A site. Enigma6 unable to hold the 3v4 plant on the B site, where you think maybe it'd be a little bit easier, but honestly, that smoke was everything. It allows Rated to get in, pick up the player on bomb that was watching the flank. As soon as he's done watching the flank, everything collapses, and you know, they just kind of fall one by one.
Yeah, as soon as he gets past and gets onto the bomb site, that's the round. I mean, they just have to trade out by that. It's getting inside the bomb site. That's the problem. Once you're in, if you're 4v3 up, you really should win it, but good stuff by Red Reserve. 2-0 up in this search and destroy now, and I like that they went for the A commit and realized nothing then. They said screw it, all the way around to B, and works out well for them, and they've gained control of B here, and it's a fast plan going down. We can see Joe all the way around behind, trying to predict some sort of flank. Not going to happen at this point, but that bomb is down.
And this is brilliant. I mean, you get this down so quickly, and you've got one mid lane that can make a play. That's going to be Joe, and Joe's getting a ton of information here. Joe wrapping behind. Cinder.
Slaughter.
Day about to be ruined. In from behind, there's the kill. Zero had already picked up 2 on site, but Red, after looking a little bit slow in that game 1, heating up here in the search and destroy, they're making this look clinical.
That very good rounds coming out of Red Reserve. It's not like we're coming down to close moments either. They just are doing everything right. That flank from Joe was very well thought out. Watches the flank himself, realizes nothing's coming, pushes around, and they squeeze in from the other side as well.
Well, and that's happened, you know, a couple times. Like, they're getting so much more map control, whether it was the two-man hit through A the last round on the quick flank, or Joe getting up through mid to get in behind. They're getting in positions and timings that Enigma6 does not seem ready for at all.
Yeah, not at all. And this time they are going to choose to take control of the B site as Abizi does manage to Semtex to the wall. Not going to help him in that situation, but
yeah, I thought for a second he'd get hit by one of their nades, and his hit the wall. I thought he was going to get dropped there, but he did manage to stay up. 0, though. First blood. 3 first bloods now. 2 Red Reserve, only 1 on the other end for Diabolic.
And when I watched Enigma6 yesterday, one of the big things for them was their first bloods. They were picking them up a lot. They haven't managed to do that so far in this game, and it's showing in the scoreline. Red looking comfortable in a 4 versus 3 this time round as well. Have they realized it's going to be an A push? Yep, Zero just needs to back off. He doesn't need to challenge that gunfight. They know they are surely moving towards A now. Wait for the rest of the team to rotate around. That bomb will be going down. Red Reserve have to retake A site.
All right, let's see if Red can retake in a 4v3. Remember, the first round for Red Reserve was a 3v hold on the A site. Now Enigma6 has got to try and do the same, but the exact opposite happens. Rated gets a pick. Rated finds another. Rated's got 3. Looking for more. Oh, God. General, though, makes things interesting for a moment, but it is traded out. Joe with another kill. You had, what, 3 in a row for Rated. He drops 3 kills for Joe, 3 kills for 0. Now the Diffuse coming in for 0, and this has been a bloodbath in the game 2. I mean, none of these rounds have been all that close. I mean, General sort of started to make it interesting there with 2 kills, but there's still 2 players left. And
that's what gets scary for E6, doesn't it? Because if they're not close, you know, the streaks get going, and Red Reserve could end this in 6 here.
Think about, like, you know, you feel really good if you're E6 coming out of the game 1. You know, you handle the slang. If you're General, you're going double positive. You feel great. You come in and get 6-0'd in map 2. I'll tell you what, that high you're riding from game 1 is wiped off the chalkboard pretty much immediately.
Rated starting to fire as well. I think that's important for Red Reserve. If he can start getting his STG going, they could definitely get back in this series.
One thing to mention, I haven't watched all of Red's series, but I did cast the first series for Splice, and it was similar to this in the sense that, like, well, basically he ended up having a pretty rough, like, games 1, 3, and 4, like rough in the respawns, but did well in the search. So I'm curious to see if he's going to pick it up, though, once we get to maps 3 and 4, assuming we're going to have a 4th map, as it's 4-0 right now. But we've seen some crazy comebacks this weekend.
Especially on this map as well, but once again, a lot of the concentration being over towards A. We do mostly see things over towards B as Rated gets another pick there.
He's beaming right now.
Another first blood for Red Reserve, and when Enigma6 are always on the back foot, it's never going to help things on this map, but 0 gets another. The SDGs are too strong, and Red Reserve 4 versus 2 now.
And I think 0, I believe, a kill off of streaks as well. He's got to be real, real close. Another drops. Diabolic, his turn for a 1v4. It was General last time. Not even sure if he spotted the one at truck on the cross, but bomb is going to be planted. Diabolic. Not a whole lot you can do here, pal. Tagged up. He's one shot. He's cleaned up from the rear. 5-0 lead for Red. On cruise control right now.
Making this look very easy. It's not even, I said, like, the close rounds either. They are wiping the floor with E6 in this search and destroy right now. Saying that, though, the hardpoint didn't look great. Yes, okay, if they get this map under their belt, but E6 need to, even if they lose their 6-0, they need to keep confident because they know how well they did in that first map.
That's what we're going to find out. Like, was it just a slow start from Red? Or maybe is there more slaying power on Enigma6 and they're going to have the edge in the respawns? We'll have to wait and see as we get deeper into the series, but I think we're learning something in this search and destroy, and it's Red is significantly better on St. Marie.
Well, General has whipped down mountain, so they're obviously worried about 0 and potential streaks, and they're going to the site that is completely open as they push forward. And Joe, once again, another first blood for Red Reserve, who smell blood in the water right now. It's 4 versus 3. Looks at his death. 0 calls in the streak, and now it's only Abizi and Cinder to try and lock things down here. That bomb may be going down. 0 calling it in. It's going to get caught, so possibilities. Actually, the bomb is just down at 8. I don't know if Red Reserve realized that, and Cinder on the flank here. Actually, not a bad play.
Might be able to make a play. One-on-one gunfight, able to win it. Now going to be a 2 versus 2. 40 seconds on the clock. Look at the position of that number 1 on the minimap, and also Abizi. You may have a gunfight here. Depends how Rated plays this. Rated might have just got the best timing. I think he just spotted Abizi.
Could be Cinder that makes the difference, though. He's going to come behind Josh as well.
What was that?
All right, okay. I mean, I don't know if his thumbs just fell off, but Cinder misses every single bullet.
No, maybe it was a warning shot. It was a warning shot.
Raid's going to get the pick on Abizi.
Well, that more than likely is the game. Rated lines it up 6-0. Cinder, check your controller configuration. And you also got beamed by Rated to close it out. But wow, series going to be tied up at 1 apiece, and Rated and Red look special in that one, son.
Yeah, looks solid in that search and destroy. The first picks really went in their favor as well, but every single round was clinical. I mean, the first 3 for me were the best, you know, with the 3-4 down. The only time that I think Enigma6 actually got a first blood, and they still clinically hold that ace sight. And then when it comes to it in the other few rounds, they just wiped the floor with them.
Did not a lot of close rounds. It was completely controlled by Red. They rebound after getting beat up a bit in the game 1. So we're going to be tied up at 1-1. It's our first match to kick off the championship Sunday here at CWL Birmingham. Hope you're enjoying the matches. Tweet the stream. But guys, it's going to be CTF coming up next on London Docks. We'll be right back after this quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's our first best of 5 here to kick off the major. $200,000 on the line here at CWL Birmingham. It's been a crazy weekend filled with upsets, and we're starting off in the losers bracket here, looking for Red Reserve to do another miraculous run. Last event, they had the greatest losers bracket run in the history of Call of Duty. Yeah. They may have to come close to replicating that again here. It's not a situation you ever want to be in, but at least, you know, it's got to be something in the back of your mind if you're these 4 players, like, hey dudes, we've been here before. In fact, it was just about a month ago. Yeah,
they've been here before, and I think I think they're probably going to get a bit sick of doing this every single Sunday. They want to get themselves into a winner's bracket. They thought that that's why they would find themselves a bit more of a smile coming from a couple of the players here after that Search and Destroy. They looked so clinical and that, but moving into CTF on London Docks, I mean, we've seen Valkyrie, you know, which is primarily an SMG map. Really, it was taken over by General, if anything, actually, with the STG, and we see Abizi do well from E6's point of view as they take that one. So moving into Docks, I know it's a different beast CTF, but we've seen the SMGs of E6 and how proficient they can be. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Red again.
It's going to be interesting.
We stay Docks for the rest of the series.
I mean, I would favor just in general, kind of just CTF as a mode for Docks, or CTF as a mode for Red. Sorry. Yeah. Going to London Docks, I mean, you have to. You would think that has been a very good map for Red, but like you said, I mean, the slaying that we saw out of the Enigma6 side, I'm probably going to lean towards it for the hardcore. I mean, I still think it has Game 5 written on it. I think it's another E6 Game 5 series.
But they haven't been able to close it out once, that's the thing.
Yeah. Is this finally where it happens when it matters most?
Could be, as we move on to map number 3. I said a convincing performance by Red in that Search and Destroy, and that might light their fire a little bit, but map number 1, not working out for them. Let's see if they can rectify the run and gun here. And again, I think you look at how well General played in that first map, and I think Rated needs to sort of match that here. We need to see more from him in the objective game modes as we get into this one.
Well, I mean, the good thing, I think, at least, is when the game seemed to slow down, he kind of found a rhythm. So CTF, well, CTF is typically a little bit slower, not necessarily on this map. Here you're going to be flying a little bit more, but a couple opening kills does open things up for Josh in Red Reserve. He's going to have a big one-on-one here. He's able to take off General's head, and he challenges Josh with a couple of sick headshots, but unfortunately, Abizi off spawn, able to pick up the kill. That would have been some nasty stuff there to get the opening score, but still a few players there from Enigma6, but just nearly special stuff from Josh.
Yeah, Josh giving a few people a haircut there and doing a real good job at it as well. And Red Reserve momentarily did keep a hold of the pressure in mid-map, and Zero is going to get taken down after finding 2. So moving up RE6, and good stuff by Rated, who seems to pull a PPSH out here now as well, and he's obviously getting a little bit frustrated with his STG. Let's see if he can keep this rolling. That means we've only got 0 on the side of Red Reserve, STG and AR, I should say. And I mean, we see it sometimes
Can
where...
we check 0 real quick?
Yeah, I think he was using it. I don't know if he's using it anymore. He did have a PPSH. Is he going PPSH as well?
I actually wouldn't be surprised they're running 4. That's why I was curious. I mean, they don't see it a lot on this map, but I wouldn't be shocked with how frustrated Rated has been. But can these streaks get something going? It's a grenade from Josh over the top. It's going to be able to slow it down for a moment, but Cinder now will get the flag. He's surrounded by 3 players here. First one, gunned. Second one, gunned. And now he's making the play forward. He's got some help from Diabolic at mid-map. He's got to get out there, picks up the 3rd. 4th one, gets all 4. Cinder with the plays. 7-2, 5 streak, fully streaked out. First score on the board. What a moment for Cinder.
If you want to ask anything from a single player, that is it right there. Picks up 4 members of the enemy team and gets a flag for it. Puts E6 in the lead and in control. Abizi's pulling this one. This is 2.
And that's what's dangerous on London Docks. The rally can happen very quickly. It is not a long route to get at score end. If you're set up nicely, you can pin a team. The spawn trap is very real. The second cap, also real. And the flood from Cinder and company still coming in. Finally, he's going to get shut down. But what a moment. What a couple of moments there from Enigma6.
Cinder, that play of the tournament so far that I've seen.
That was incredible. I mean, considering the pistol shots we saw from him in game 2. Another pull. More streaks available. Abizi could be fully streaked out. Cinder still has 2 to work with. 2.5 left in the first half, and it's about to be a 3-0 edge.
I think Enigma6 keep it rolling here. Get the streaks out and keep going with it. They're winning all the gunfights, so they don't necessarily need this. It wouldn't surprise me if the artillery gets called in here. and they get pushed out. The flag is gone once again. There's no overextension coming from red. They're going to concede that one again, so that's 4.
Oh my God.
They really need to establish some sort of control here.
This is like the hard point in a way, just the gunfights, the slang, it all just seems to be going E6's way. They had them trapped there for about 90 seconds, and suddenly it's a 4-0 advantage. Now, if we know anything on London Docks, you can make crazy comebacks. But there are so many streaks available. Can they get this in? The big thing is going to be that number 4 on the minimap. It's going to be a Beezy. He has a chance to make a play. Able to pick up 1. This should be the score, but there is a fighter pilot. Fighter pilot gets killed on the edge. Now it's going to be on Diabolic. Diabolic dives in, and Diabolic gets the return. Every moment going the way of E6. The pain, the struggles for Red Reserve continue here in the CTF. Not
working out for them at all here. Every single moment, as you said, just going in E6's favor. You know, when you come down to that, you have to look back at it though. If Sender doesn't get all 4 of those kills and return it, I mean, it's such an even more game. That really is what started the steamroll for Enigma6, and from that moment is where they've capitalized.
And to be fair, I mean, the first 2 kills were all Sender. The second 2, he did get some help. Obviously, they were weak, but still, you can't take away from it.
No.
That was 4 kills and a score. That was unbelievable stuff.
Streaks coming in. They want to add more. Enigma6. Joe's getting pinned in by his fighter pilot, not going to do much there. I think the best thing to use here is artillery to zone them out. Yeah, okay, they spawn useless. Get somebody to cover off bus side, and it's just, there you go. Artilleries and mortars coming in, that should clear them out. Not going to get anything though, and they may be lucky enough if they can cover off. Surely it's going to be Zero to clean up here. He does so. Is he going to get the second as well? Send it. We've seen him take up plenty members of Red Reserve here, and General trying to clean up, and Zero has done so well to slow this one down. Yeah. Maybe just stop the bleeding for a moment.
If they don't score, this is all on Zero. Zero's got 3 kills there from the mid-cut to slow it down. Rated tries to dive for the return, not able to get it. Zero next man in. Zero gets all 4 there at mid and gets the return. So an incredible play from Zero to make sure it's not a 5-0 advantage. But unfortunately for Red, the damage has been done. And there may be more damage coming. A stun at the edge, but that should halt it. 5 seconds remaining. But what a half. You have 14 and 8 from Sender, 14 and 9, I believe, from Diabolic. They are going off right now. What a half, man. That was unreal stuff. Like, and just think about like how crazy it is. You know, coming out, you just got 6-0 in the game 2, and then you come out like this in the opening 5 minutes of this half. Wow.
Just making things look so easy. That was the thing. Red Reserve just could not get anything going at all. It looked okay. They had a pretty decent start. A few kills go down, and that was the only time they really got control of barrels. I will say, I think Enigma6 obviously on the slightly more preferred side there, but I mean, 4 flags without answer from Red Reserve. It's a mountain to climb. Rated again. Yeah. His woes continue. 4 and 10 out of him.
It's relatively 50-50 map, but the reason it may be a little bit more to that side is just because of what you saw there. That spawn trap you can get, that bottom right area of the map that you hear us refer to as useless a lot. When you can get a team spawning there, you can really, really rally. And they've already got a touch here to open things up. The one-on-one fight again goes their way. Easy able to take out Rated. Diabolic now reinforcing, but Josh was able to pick it up. They should be able to get the touch. No, Josh going big. A couple of kills to his name. Can he get the return? There it is.
He's done very well there.
If it wasn't for Zero getting the 4 kills in the return and now Josh getting those 2, I mean, this could be a 6-0 game.
Enigma6 still holding on, and now Red Reserve getting some sort of control there. Want to try and get control of fire, then you go for the second round of kills. I mean, if they get them here, then they can go for a pull. BZ is going to go down, so that's going to open things up. Now we can see Red Reserve push up that little bit more. General and Sender doing work, though, taking down 2. And Joe's overextended on the outside. Zero's going to pick up another, but not enough. And Enigma6 just seem to be a lot more clinical when they go for the kill here. And Red Reserve just not able to get the kills. That seems to be the issue. Rated 6 and 12, Joe 8 and 16. Nobody positive on Red Reserve's side.
And if you're General right now on Enigma6, you got to feel pretty good.
They have to extend like this.
You made the team change. You get everybody out, new squad in, and look at Diabolic, Cinder, and Abizi right now statistically for the team. If you're General, you just got a smile on your face. Boys, keep it up. This has been phenomenal stuff. But like you said, they did overextend. They did finally get a flag out. Unfortunately, Diabolic going to touch it on the other side. So now we'll have a stalemate, but every second that ticks by, obviously heavily favoring Enigma6 here with this major lead.
Red Reserve need to get this back quickly. And the thing is, if they get it back quick and they get some streaks going, then they can potentially come back into this game. But the more that time that edges on here, it just goes in Enigma6's favor every single second. And You can see how far the flag carrier has pushed up here. They need to get some aggression going very, very quickly.
And as much as I'm talking positively, just about the stats on the side of Enigma6, I know it's not all stats, but when you have your main AR and rated 10 and 13, your main sub and Joe at 8 and 18, you're not going to win games.
No, not at all.
It's not going to win games.
It's just really not worked out for them this weekend. Things just not looking as clinical, and they're so consistent as well. That was the thing with Atlanta. They consistently played well. Every single member putting up consistent numbers. We know Rated had a fantastic Sunday, Joe had a fantastic Sunday, and Josh and Zero obviously pitching in at the right points as well. This moment in time, it's disjointed. They just can't get anything going. They can't get the ball rolling at all. And it's hurting them here in the objective game mode.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. This series is absolutely not over. It looks like it's certainly going to be a 2-1 advantage for Enigma6, but it is not done yet. But this Enigma6 team absolutely impressing in the respawn game modes. No return coming in yet. They're trying to make a play. I mean, they have to get aggressive on the other end. They have to try and get something going here. So you see them pushing forward. Rated's going to get cut down, though. They wrap it back. I mean, you have to think about it as hitting with your flag carrier over and over again. It's like, a soccer game where you pull the keeper out, or hockey where you pull out the keeper to try and make a play. Like, you kind of have to right now. It's like, give it all right now.
They have to go for it, and here comes the artillery, and they may have just walked into the lion's den as Abizi picks up 2, and that flag's not going to be able to return too quickly, as they do indeed have that artillery on, but the kill comes in for Abizi once again. General cleans up on Josh. This is going to be another flag for Enigma6. They're walking away with this map surely now. A minute and 15 to go. I think they need more than a miracle here, Red Reserve, to take this map.
Yeah, and I mean, the scoreline could be even more dominant, honestly. A couple of sick plays from Josh and Zero kept this from being maybe a 7-0 game.
And I think you look back at Sender when he picks up that first, was that the first flag? I think it was either the first or the second.
I think it was the first, and they rallied right behind that.
Yeah, so I mean, the rally off the back of that.
That play basically started that wave of 3 caps.
Yeah, that's the thing. With CTF, the way that it is on this map, you really can't. It's a snowball effect. He started that.
It's like a 4 down on Arden Forest. You can spawn back up and maybe make a play, depending on where it happens. Like at mid-map, right? You'll be all right. 4 down here at mid-map, you're in a lot of trouble, like you saw with Red Reserve in that half. That's like the single biggest factor on this map. You have to avoid those 3 and 4 down situations. And, well, when one player gets all 4 kills.
Streaks get going, and then they push forward. I said on that side where it's a little bit easier to cap a flag or at least pull it out. And
I don't know
when they got all those streaks to your disposal.
Not sure if Zero just rage quit or timed out, but that might be telling a story of where Red Reserve is mentally. But it is currently a 4v3, and we are enjoying a dead body for a moment. And now after this map, we can enjoy the dead body that is Red Reserve, as they just got 5-0 bodied in that CTF. What a game from Enigma6. Such a convincing win. They look so good here in the respawn stun.
They look phenomenal. Every single member doing fantastic in the slaying department. And I mean, that play from Sender was insane. I mean, that's what got it going.
Speaking of that play, it's the scuff play of the game. That was some sick stuff from Sender. We saw a bit of a whirlwind with the pistol in the search and destroy, but there was no whirlwinding here. You look at the minimap, he's surrounded by 3 right now. Just look at the map. First one, gun. Second, you want some too? Finishes him off. Then he gets a little bit of help at mid-map. I think it's Diabolic that's able to put a couple bullets in. Finishes that. Gets help as well. Finishes. And this is Cinder and Diabolic. They've teamed a lot in the past as well. And you saw that was beautiful. I know all the flashiness, all the talk goes to Cinder, but if Diabolic's not in that position, it at least weakens both players. That play does not happen.
No, not at all. The first 2 were the hard work, if anything, for Sender.
Well, those are the 2 big ones, yeah.
Yeah, makes that first kill. Second kill, you'd argue, shouldn't really make as easily, and he gets that on Rated, and then suddenly the team are collapsing in mid-map.
I'm not sure who died second, but the second one
was Rated.
The first one, you're right. Like the first one, he wasn't maybe ready for him at that angle, but the second one, you're getting that call out immediately, and you can turn. But Sender, guns Rated there, and everything falls apart after that. What a damn performance from Enigma6. So now we stay on docks, and this has been a good hard point for Red Reserve. They love to play it, but with the way
I don't know.
The way Enigma6 has looked, and the way the gunfights have looked, it seems like any of these key one-on-ones, man, they're going the way of General and company. You got to think it might end here.
I think it will. I honestly think it might.
I thought Game 5 for sure, but after watching that, Look at the 2 blowouts in games 2 and 3. That's just absurd.
I mean, the thing is, Red Reserve have got to have the confidence if they take this to a last map, how good they looked on that Search and Destroy in St. Marie. But the problem is they need to get there yet. If the respawn game modes are anything to tell by so far, I don't think they will. I mean, London Doc's hardpoint is going to be an issue here if they can't get these players firing. Enigma6 just look to be winning every single gunfight, and if they do that on Docs, they're going to blow them out of the water.
Oh, man. My gut tells me we still get to a game 5 because it's Red Reserve.
I mean,
but this series tells me it ends here.
Yeah, I think you just have to look at the other respawns, and it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together here and to see how well E6 are playing, and Red Reserve just aren't at the races today so far.
All right, can Red Reserve pick it up now? Game 4, do or die time. This is a loser's bracket match. Red lose this map, they're out of it. They can go home and enjoy the matches. They do get a couple, make it 3 opening kills here to start out. That's what you need to see, just some moments where you know those moments where it's almost like a color thing as a commentator. Like, we focus obviously top left and bottom left, kill feed and the minimap. And you see there's those times where it's like that, right? Like all red, there you go. Like there haven't been many of those moments where you've seen 4 or 5 kills in a row from Red Reserve. This is what you need.
Zero already on the rotation with 30 seconds to go. He wants to keep himself alive, and Josh and Rated are getting kills on the board, and there we go. Rated starting to warm things up. 4 kills in a row for him as well, and I have not seen, well, that's the first kill I've seen from Enigma6 in a while now, and this is a fantastic start by Red Reserve. 27 on Ansett. Enigma6 eventually gets some control of the statue, but great work by Red Reserve. A fantastic start. That's what we needed to see.
Yeah, absolutely. You needed that opening. Maybe that's just all it takes. Just, you know, a hot little start, get some streaks on 0, get the vibes feeling right, get the momentum going, the energy, and you can start to bring this back. You push it to a game 5, like you said, you feel pretty good after that game 2, but you still got to get there. An incredible opening hold now leads to a Main Street hold, but Abizi in position to maybe play disruption. Unfortunately, all of his teammates keep dropping, but now they're spawning top. The pressure is going to come in. It's Abizi looking for the kills on water side. He's able to pick up Rated there and snap back. At least puts in enough shots for the grenade to finish it, and Enigma6 able to crack on through. Yeah,
really nice break, and Abizi played himself very, very patiently there, and it works out in the end. General starting to fire now. Josh and Joe do go down to his STG, and Red Reserve already with a pretty decent lead, but as we move over to Main Street, they're really well locked down by Abizi. He picks up the heat, shooting buddies already. You have to be careful. Watch the Juju, man. He will be out for you there, Abizi, but fantastic work by him. And he was the one that got the Main Street pull for them as well. Fantastic work. Enigma6 in control.
Anytime you see a ×4 multi-kill pop up, somebody made a play. And it was Abizi there, and he added a little extra love onto the end of it to Joe's dead body. But now, lead change, a great opening from Red Reserve, but suddenly Enigma6 back in control. But as we shift now to the Docks warehouse, it will be Red Reserve set up inside the hard point, but Josh will be picked mid, so this is going to be an opening right now. You've got a 4v3 collapse. You see that number 7 on the minimap spawning out. Here they're going to be able to push in. Can Red Reserve hold? 2 players remaining. Joe and Rated trying to get it done. Are they up to the task? It seems they are. There's one more inside that's Rated. But Joe, I think he gets 3 during that stretch, is a big part of the reason they're able to hold off that storm.
He does a great job, and the thing is, Diabolic tries to push around behind. It only gets 1. As soon as that stops, they've got 1 side to concentrate on. Joe and Rated do a great job. They do eventually go down, but getting more time on Doc's warehouse than we maybe would have expected when we seen that collapse coming in, but E6 have established some sort of control now. Red Reserve just 1 off 70, and Enigma6 are looking like they're going to tie it up here at least.
And during the final seconds of this, just keep an eye on that number 7 on the minimap. That's going to be Josh. It's going all the way underground. It's going to try and go behind barrels to make a play. He's going to have some key gunfights coming up, and a collapse maybe here with Rated. Can we actually hop over to Josh's POV now? Here he is in from behind. No, okay. That was a little bit closer than it needed to be, but unfortunately for him, that play doesn't matter so much because the rest of his teammates die on the front side. So now Josh is just isolated. He has to wait back here patiently for his teammates to get in position. They are going to invest the glide bomb right now from 0. 0 does get the kill, and now it's the go for Josh. He's going to start to get on forward. Some decent shots in the center to try and make the play. His teammates die top mid, though. So again, I mean, that's Josh basically in a position to make a play for what, 30, 40 seconds, but unable to actually get anything done.
You just can't win the gunfight up front.
His teammates can't,
Abizi 3 kills in a row, and he's held that down so well. Josh eventually making some kills, and this is finally going to be the break from Red Reserve. Surely, Sender gets 2, and Diabolic gets 1. It looked all Red Reserve for a second, and Enigma6 just burst through again.
That little duo of Diabolic and Cinder, we saw it paying dividends to Enigma6 in the CTF, doing it yet again here. We know these guys have a lot of experience together. Great chemistry amongst them. And they're doing an incredible job here. But let's just take a look at the top right for a moment, see maybe any outliers right now.
Raid's playing better.
Raid's playing better. Joe struggling kind of the past 2 maps. Consistent effort all around from Enigma6 yet again, like we've seen from them in the respawns. But inside of Crane right now is going to be Red Reserve ton. Enigma6 is going to be trying to make a play here, and the collapse is going to come in from Diabolic.
Yeah, they're trying to use Diabolic the same way that Josh was used that last time on Barrels. Not going to work out as 4 members of Enigma6 do go down. Red Reserve going to get a decent chunk of time here on Crane as they are going to spawn towards Crane side, though. Enigma6, they're going to be pushing from Useless. A couple of kills once again coming in from Red Reserve. This is a little bit like Statue that we've seen at the start. They're getting the majority of the kills. Diabolic does answer back, and that's going to be the majority, if not all the time, on Crane going over to Red Reserve, and they will tie things up if they hold it as we move to Statue.
That is huge. He gets a brilliant, they get a brilliant hold there, and Joe is awfully close to streaks as well. Can we check Joe for a second? He's on 5 in a row. Okay, so he needs 1 kill, and he can pick up some streaks. He should get him here. He's flanking in from behind. They're not going to be ready for this. Surprise. There. Oh, please finish it. Another one there. Drops down. He actually, it's important here that he gets this kill because he's still 10 off the glide bomb. 10 off the glide bomb, and there it is. Joe, 7 in a row now. He was 7 and 10. Remember when I brought him up where I was like, look at the top right, we focus on him, and since then, just an explosion from Joe and a reason. Red Reserve in the do-or-die match here for their championship Sunday. They're back in the lead.
That was 15 kills in a row. Joe's now shooting bodies as well. It was 15 kills unanswered from Red Reserve, and they have swung this map. Enigma6 haven't got a point since we were at Barrels. Fantastic work by them, and Statue has been although Red Reserve as well. And Sender was nearly there to answer back, but once again, Zero and Joe just doing work. Eventually, they go down. Enigma6 get some points on the board, but Red Reserve, for them, the damage has already been done. They want to see a map number 5 here, Maven.
They do not. They do not. But Joe ends up getting what? A double-digit streak. I think he hits 10 before it ultimately drops, and you do have the lead now for Red. Let's get to Main Street. Josh in a position here to make plays with his teammates. He's getting ready to push out a Cole and underground. First pick comes in, glide bomb comes in, doesn't find anything. Tries to split towards the back, but thankfully Zero able to pick up a couple kills with his gun, but it's General with the STG that's able to shut down the push for now. Joe now in a forward position. Nice gunfight win, just holding the edge, waiting for some help to come. Forces some pressure from Enigma6 to try and find him so Zero and Josh can get in position. Now they've gotten to the hard point. They've forced him out. The spawn coming in topside from Enigma6. And Red Reserve looking to push this lead out once again, Ton.
Oh, that's a big artillery strike as well. That's really going to slow things down for Enigma6. They should be going down in the middle. General eventually escapes it. With the kills coming in for Josh and Zero, they are able to hold it momentarily. It's just going to be down to Abizi, who's going to break it and get 18 seconds there free of charge. But it looks as if Josh wants to say something about it. No, the scrap time is going to go over towards Enigma6. And as we go towards Warehouse, it is going to be pretty much a very, very close game. But the thing is, Red Reserve still have streaks available. Enigma6 have nothing here. It's going to be influential towards the end of the game, but it's still close.
It absolutely is. Now you've got a, kind of a 3-on-3 here at the next hard point. Cinder going to put the tide into the favor here of Enigma6. They're winning him inside. There's one more player from Red Reserve. He's going to drop. So Doc's Warehouse, early control to E6. They're looking to get a lead change here. Only trailing by 5 points right now. A lot of streaks still available for Red, but not going to be that big of a deal on this particular hard point. They're still holding strong inside. Josh, though, with a couple of kills, can he find one more? Almost all 3, but a little too weak. Cinder gets it, lead to E6, but just like that, Red back in. A couple seconds later, yet another lead change done.
A little bit more scrappy now. Red Reserve did have a real good time over towards Beer. Barrels are, I should say, are in Crane, and since then, though, it's been mostly E6, and you can tell in the scoreline they're only 5 away now, and this has been highly contested as we move over towards Barrels as well, and that's where we see an E6 have a good time of things. Last time around, Rated does pick up 2 in these final few seconds. Just contested, a couple goes over to Red Reserve, and they have a slender lead, but moving over to Barrels, they need to take their time here and work with a pinch. It wouldn't surprise me if they work with the streaks. Rated's not far off his own eye there, and he just about gets killed by Sender. And one more kill coming in there would have had Rated with streaks, but here come the streaks from Joe. It finds 2. Red Reserve, the collapse is going to come in now.
The fighter pilot gets 2 in the back. It's at least going to open things up so they can try and get in the front and contest. 3-point lead for Enigma6. They're back in control. Joe trying to wrap around the back. Gunfight win. There's another one there, but this is another hole from E6. They've been dominating a barrel, and one spawns out. That's going to be Cinder, who's going to have a chance to make a play at mid, maybe keep them from coming in, but Josh and Rated go huge, and they break through. Crucial time here for Red, and what looks like it could be another lead change here in just a couple of seconds.
Beezy's done very well, actually. He finds one and two, not going to find the third.
Red back in front.
Red going to go back in front. As said, they get the final few scrap, but we can see they're set up quite nicely here at Crane. Diabolic will find Rated around behind, but I'll be interested to see if Red Reserve have any streaks left to try and break this. They do. Here it comes. That's going to be a fighter pilot coming in. Finds nothing. Joe does get the kill into General, but Red Reserve are far out here, and Enigma6 are at least going to tie things up before they get there.
They had a great barrel hold, and now trying to chain this into Crane. They get a couple opening kills. Another lead change. E6 back in front and cracking the 200-point mark. They're holding well so far. You have two players mid from Red Reserve. One spawns water, and one trying to push from the useless side. The collapse now coming in. Who's going to win the gunfights? Two do go the way of Red Reserve. This should be a chance to break on through. They've at least cleared Enigma6 out of the hard point for now. Even though they're not getting any time, keeping E6 out just as important right now for them, Tom, with how tight this game is.
BZ is going to come around from behind from ladder, gets one. And that said, they have restricted E6 to not much time, but at this time in the game, though, it's all important. Enigma6 are going to be within 35 as we go back to statue, where we see Red Reserve have had a lot of luck. But
I think you feel pretty good about that if you're Red. I mean,
yeah,
you never had the spawns for it, but you didn't allow them to get a ton of time. I mean, that could have been like a 40-point hard point. Instead, you probably only got, what, 15, 20 points really out of it from Enigma6, so doesn't end up being nearly as dominant as it could. But now, into our third set of rotations, back to statue. Zero, the hero, trying to make plays, not able to finish Zero. Oh, Cinder actually ends up finishing that with some nice shots. Oh my God, what can Rated and company do? Still trailing by 6 here, Ton. Spots one, nice wall bang, headshot onto Cinder. Joe following up as well, but they haven't been able to get the hard point. There we go, now in. We'll see if they can take the lead here. Some nice teamwork between Josh and Rated here, top mid. Rated starting to heat up, but finally chopped down 215 to 215. 15 seconds remaining on statue.
Looks like Enigma6 are going to pretty much give up the ghost on this one. It seems as if it's actually only going to be a BZ to try something here. He gets the kill as well. That could be a few scrap going over towards E6. It would have put Red Reserve a lot closer, and the spawns are going to be in Enigma6's favor as we go to main. We've seen them have a good time in the second rotation. It's going to be hard for Red Reserve. They need to break, and they need to break fast.
Here we go. The full Main Street hardpoint, all but a tie game right now. Rated and Red Reserve looking for the opening, waiting for the collapse come in, being very patient here. Now's the time to go. Not able to connect yet on Diabolic. We'll get the grenade in, can't finish it. 2 kills go to Enigma6. So far, so good. Joe trying to push in. The entire kill feed's gonna be blue. 2:45 now for Enigma6. This can be it. Somebody's gotta get in. Somebody's gotta contest, or Red Reserve's tournament is over. And there it's done. Enigma6 get it done.